Welcome back to the video blog. Adam Daniel Mezei here, adamdanielmezei.com. Thanks again for watching. So this week I've been on a social media tip. I'm describing all kinds of stuff in relation to Facebook, stumble upon LinkedIn, and of course Google+, the big news that's still in its field trial. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit more about something that Chris Penn was referring to, short-term versus long-term social media goals. And I think that would be kind of important to discuss. And basically, where you're deriving the most value from in terms of your social media activities, and whether you should be really spending as much time on places like Facebook as you do, whether you should be investing more of your time on things like Twitter, LinkedIn, or Stumbled Upon, depending upon, what the specific goals are of your particular operation. So let's talk a little bit about short-term social media. Short-term social media, kind of the stuff that you do, I think, over on places like Twitter and Facebook. I mean, because Twitter's not really searchable, because the search option on Twitter is not really robust, you really can't go back in time, let's say over the course of several months, and look back at some of the things that you found, unless you favorite some of the tweets that you really like. But otherwise, if you forget to do that, it's really hard to access old Twitter content. I wouldn't really consider Twitter to be much of a long-term social media network. Short-term social media goals as well. Again, Facebook, you can always back up the information, but nobody's going to be going back into Facebook data longer than about a day or two, maybe 3, especially if you have a little bit of activity there. That's, of course, something you can go back and check. But otherwise, it's not really something that you can use and leverage for your business. I suspect you won't be getting a lot of business out of things like Twitter or Facebook, where most of the action takes place, of course, is on a site like LinkedIn. You can track these things, actually. You should kind of keep a little bit of a log if you're self-employed or you're using social media for your business. Where are you getting a lot of the leads or referrals when people get back to you and tell you that, of course, they've found out about you? Where are they finding out about you from? That's kind of the thing you should be investigating, and that's really where you should be investing most of your time. This week I've been really punching out my LinkedIn profile. If we're not on LinkedIn together, I'd really like to be there with you. And I've been participating in a lot of the discussions that I find on LinkedIn, for example. A lot of the groups, I've been adding myself to a few interesting groups. Not too many, just enough. And when I find that there's something that I should opine upon, especially as concerns my business, I will go in there and leave a more fulsome reply. And of course, people are encouraged to come back and talk to me. Whereas if I tried the same thing on Facebook, I'm not sure that it would actually have the same kind of a bang. See, the other thing about Facebook too, I use it actually for more businessy type purposes. Unfortunately, a lot of people come onto Facebook without the same kind of an intention. Facebook's known as that social media platform that's being used for family and friends. It's not necessarily something that people use to actually generate leads from. I like to be there and demonstrate bona fides, especially when we're in the middle of a discussion, for example, on Facebook, and there's a long thread of discussions that follow a particular recommendation or post or link or whatever the case may be. I like to actually get into a discussion there. And I like to think that a lot of the people that are up on my page too have those same long-term goals in mind. However, it is still a short-term social media platform. It's not something that you can generally use for business. Unfortunately, I also think that business people don't take this Facebook thing as seriously as they do LinkedIn. And then, of course, there's Stumble Upon, which I haven't really spoken about at all. I'm not really that well seated on Stumble Upon yet, which for those of you who don't know how that works, if you like a particular link or there's something that you're looking at, you basically stumble it, and what happens is the Stumble Upon engine ends up recommending you stuff that is similar to the things that you're stumbling. I don't have much of a history on Stumble Upon yet. I've been on the platform for a few years, but I don't really use it, and only recently am I starting to stumble a lot of the posts that I find online that are of interest, of course, to my community. So I will get back to you about Stumble Upon later. But I think the 3 major social media platforms that you absolutely have to be on, of course, Facebook, Twitter, Stumble Upon, not so much, LinkedIn, those 3. G+, that's really kind of the 800-pound gorilla in the room. We don't really know what G+ is going to be yet, although pretty much everyone I've spoken to so far is jumping on the G+ bandwagon. Anybody who's, very serious about what they're doing with their business. For example, people like Christopher Penn, of course, who works for Blue Sky Marketing, or somebody like Dan Harris at China Law Blog, who wrote a pretty considerable post about why he'd just as soon prefer to get rid of his Facebook profile. You see what I mean? I'm still going to be on Facebook. I like it. It's really kind of my claim to fame. I came into my own in social media on that platform. But honestly, I'm thinking about not spending as much time there as I have been, strictly because most of the good leads for what I'm doing come across from other channels, like this week, like on LinkedIn. So thanks again for watching. I'm hoping that you like this little Steadicam deal, and I'll be going out into public more often. You still don't see anybody going on behind me here, but hopefully we'll have that happening sometime really soon. Catch you later, and take care. How do we finish this one? Let's try this.